What's going on, my peoples? Back in the chair. This is Donnie Chocolate, barbershop professor, coming at you one more again with another discussion. Hey, if you've ever got a clean fade, hit that like button. If you ever got your hair did in the beauty salon, don't hit that like button. If you hated class, go and hit that like button. If you got less than a 3.0 in high school like I did, go and hit that like button. Share, comment, subscribe, all those different things. But today, we're going to talk about immigration. Now, there was a big uproar, or some buzz, I'll say, when it came to immigration for multiple reasons. One, I guess there was the black community, African-American community in Chicago was in an uproar, right? When it comes to some of the COVID era immigration policies expiring and immigrants being brought into Chicago, right? Receiving resources that they feel should go to them, right? That's pretty much, that's a part of it, right? That's this tension between the Black and Hispanic caucus in Chicago, right? All this political posturing, right? I more and more hear a lot of talk of Black people needing to be wary of the Latino community because of procuring resources and protecting resources, right? So let's really get into this. First, I gotta have full disclosure if I'm gonna do this with any integrity, right? I am married to a woman who is Mexican and Salvadorian, right? We have been married for multiple years. We have been together for almost a decade. Yes, this informs my perspective on this. Now, you can say pandering, you can say whatever you want to. That's fine. But at least hear me out. This informs my perspective because both of my in-laws are people who migrated here, quote unquote, illegally, right? I guess it's illegal to be a human on earth, but I digress. I've heard in some of the things I listen to, some Black people who are well-meaning, who do a lot of good work for the African-American community, start to fall into certain tropes, right? Where, we have people coming into this country and we don't know if they are the most moral people, or we don't know if they're affiliated with drug cartels, all these different things, right? Well, my experience with not only my in-laws, but many of my friends, right, who have poured into me, who have supported me, who might have immigrated to this country illegally, is you got people who are looking for a better way. You got people who are looking to work hard to give back to their families, to create a life that they don't have an opportunity to in the country they're coming from. My father-in-law ran away from home from an abusive father and ran away to LA, the oldest of 10 kids. At 12 years old, he had to provide for himself and make it on his own in the city of LA in the 80s. My mother-in-law, El Salvador had a civil war, a brutal civil war. Her brother was executed, shot in the head in front of her and the rest of her family. She fled those conditions in that war for safety. It wasn't done the quote unquote right way. So what? Again, this is Earth. So let's really dig into this because, my relationship is a very unique one. Don't come at me. Don't come at this channel with none of that passport bro BS. That's not why I'm with her. Two, I ain't never gonna have any type of degradation of black women on my channel. My mama is black. My sisters is black. The mother of my child is black. I ain't gonna have it. I don't have to do that in my relationship. I don't have to sacrifice my blackness. I don't have to hide my blackness in order to embrace her culture. And vice versa. She doesn't have to hide anything about her Mexican Salvi side, language, dance, whatever. We blend the two. We have respect for each other's cultures. This is an honest relationship. An honest interracial relationship, intercultural relationship. Not one that where I feel like I need to hide something. Not one where she feels like she needs to hide something or feels bad because she does something or speaks a different language or no. A relationship where I've seen this woman, my wife, fight for our black child. It's hers too. You know how we do in the black community, right? It takes a village. Whether it's in school, in life, whatever. My in-laws have supported me and my black behind when I needed it the most. This informs my perspective. This informs kind of some of the things that come up for me when I'm hearing this stuff. I just look at things differently. That's why I got on this channel in the first place. Because I don't hear some of the things that I think. In the case of the people in Chicago, I think, one, I understand the reaction. I truly do. It's like if your friend owes you money, something that's owed to you, and you go see them in front of your face, go pay somebody else, you're going to be mad at that friend. What you doing paying another person? You need to be paying me. I get that reaction. I get that response. At the same time, I would encourage you to step back. Let's breathe. And let's step out of what the mentality is when it comes to how we operate in resources altogether. Because you know what? It's a myth that there's not enough to go around. It's a myth that people who migrate here can't be treated with humanity, and we get what we deserve in the African American community too. It doesn't have to be an either or. It doesn't have to be this like crabs in a barrel situation. We got to be mindful of that. Ain't nothing wrong with taking care of home. The government has put us in this mentality that we need to fight over resources when that is a lie. There's enough to go around for stock markets. There's enough to go around for military. There's enough to go around for banks. There's enough to go around for politicians. They never go without. The fact that we don't have enough resources is a choice. There's enough to go around for other countries. Programs, resources, wars, all those different types of things. And I'm not arguing that they don't necessarily deserve those things. I'm not arguing that. What I am arguing is that the fact that we go without is because we don't have it as a country. It's because the state doesn't have it. No, they are making that choice. So we gotta be careful before we fall into to certain tropes. Another trope is that people who migrate here just get the red carpet rolled out for them. They get all the stuff that you didn't get, or they get all the stuff that you're supposed to get. That is a lie. This government does the bare minimum. City governments even, Chicago, wherever, they are not, like, people who migrate here, people who are in the system, people who do it right, are not living lavish. Things are difficult. The Trump era policies where they were holding people in concentration camps kept going after Biden was in office. Children are still being separated from parents. It is a hard thing to do, to uproot yourself from your family, from your social network, from everything you know, and go into a foreign place and find a way to make a living. Whether you have government assistance, we all we know, black people know, we know government assistance. We know people who ain't. Come on. For real? We know people who can't even get from up under the weight of poverty. We know government assistance might get you by. The system that we have now is not meant to actually help you get to a better place. The system we have right now is meant to, like, starve you just to that point to where you don't make a big fuss, essentially. There is no red carpets for people who migrate here illegally, quote unquote. There's not. We gotta take a step back and we gotta step away from that trope. The other thing I'm not hearing about the black African American community and immigration is that it's not just Latino folks. If we want to be connected to the diaspora, right? Our brothers and sisters in Africa, all over the Caribbean, all over South America, some up north in Canada, right? All across the world, whether it be, the Aboriginal people of Australia, wherever you want to name black people. If we are to embrace the diaspora, we have to understand that this immigration issue and people who migrate to this country and immigrate to this country being treated humanely is not just a Latino issue, even though it's enough to stand on for them to be treated humanely. At the same time, there are black people coming from all over the world. Haiti, Jamaica, right? Barbados, right? Belize. There's black people in Honduras. This is an issue for our people too. If we're categorizing just, our people as black people, the diaspora, if we're going to keep it real, if we're going to march with some type of integrity, when we're talking about unity for the diaspora, these are people who deserve to be treated humane, that we should be welcoming into our communities as well, as black people, as people who are part of that diaspora. I don't hear people talking about that when it comes to immigration. I don't hear people being mindful of this or thinking about this as an element of immigration policy here in the United States. Instead of looking at other people who are being treated humanely and saying, that should be me, why can't we think of it as, why not me too? Right? Not that they shouldn't be getting something. Not that you shouldn't be treated fairly or humanely. We should too. Ain't nothing wrong with taking care of home. Ain't nothing wrong with being specific for what the African American community needs and deserves. Ain't nothing wrong with being specific to the specific oppression that has been done to black people in this country, to African Americans in this country. There's nothing wrong with it. We just don't have to fall into their tropes. Let's not take that model of people who have oppressed us and try to force it on other people. That's not going to make us better as a community. That's not going to enhance how we live day to day. Another aspect of this thing when it comes to immigration in general, right, right? I don't want to fall into kind of like the white supremacist, like racial undertones, not go back to your country type of feel, right? Because one thing that they will never tell you is that America has had a large part in why their countries are the way they are. The chaos, the instability, the poverty in these countries, in Middle America especially, in Latin America especially, are because of corporate policies, or because of different coups, presidential candidates assassinated. Jaime Roldos in Panama. Why do we have control of the Panama Canal? Why do we have so many bananas in the United States? Look that history up. We all say we know how crack got to the hood. Through the CIA, funding Contras, funding war, instead of attempting to make peace, instead of being a facilitator of peace, trying to fund outside, trying to control oil in Venezuela. The U.S. is uniquely responsible to the hardships that have developed in these countries. We cannot then turn around and be like, don't come to this country. Go back to your country. One, again, we have enough. Two, that's really disingenuous when it comes to our part in not allowing these countries, I should say, to individually and independently create lives for their total citizenry. It's just disingenuous. It makes zero sense. It is unfair. Let's change our policies. Let's change our foreign policies, right? So that we are now facilitating peace, that we are facilitating well-being instead of facilitating domination, conquer, control, colonialism, the extraction of wealth from countries. Let's do that. Another thing, I know this is a kind of long video, but stay with me. Another thing is, why would we play into divide and conquer like that? We saw what happened with the Panthers. We saw what happened with all different types of African-American organizations, world organizations even. When it comes to the CIA, FBI, how this government does when it comes to divide and conquer. Why would we play into that strategy? Personally, within the Black community, I'm collaboration over competition all day. I'm ally over adversary. Why would not I extend that to like dealing with other communities? Why would I not create a partnership with other communities to build our numbers? To build what we know is right for us, what is right for everyday people. Why wouldn't we do that? Why? I don't understand that. You can tell me, put it in the comments. Why would we play into divide and conquer? There's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody on this earth. Matter of fact, birth rates are declining. There's going to be even more here in the next 30 years. Why would we do that? My last point is something that I heard specifically about kind of our voting power. They're bringing people into this country and it's going to water down our voting power. They're going to have more votes than Black people. I think to myself, I'm like, yo, dog, you for real gonna tell me how concerned you are about our vote? Have you experienced or researched, or do you have an understanding of our impact on this government and on this system without the ability to vote at all? It is not a valid reason for us to be worried about people moving into this country and worrying about our ability to vote. They want you to think that voting is all you can do. They want you to think that your freedoms, your well-being, what you do, how you live, what you build is based off of the government structure. Now, don't get me wrong. I already know there are systemic things that fight against us, and we got to continue to fight against those. It's a fine balance between that and our ability to do for ourselves, our ability to create our own systems, and simultaneously fighting the systems that prevent that. The systems that when we have a Tulsa, Oklahoma, a Rosewood, Florida, a Black Wall Street, that snuff out our ability to be self-sustaining and self-determined. We gotta stop reacting. We gotta start responding. We gotta move with strategy. We can't move out of desperation. There is enough to go around. Again, I didn't laid it all out. My peoples, my family dynamic, people I'm connected to. And you can call me what you want to. But like I said earlier, I'm collaboration over competition every day. I'm ally over adversary. And I encourage you to be too. Those are just some thoughts that I had on this whole immigration versus the Black community. Let me know what you think. Hey, teach me something. Give me some information. Give me some resources. Let me know something. You know, I'm a believer in Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson, right? And I also don't believe in everything. I think there's enough to go around. I think our energy and our focus, our fight, should not be focused on Latino communities, immigrant communities. It should be focused on the people who got it all at the top. You know who I'm talking about. That's status quo. If you are here right now in this 20-something minute video, what are you doing? Go and hit that like. Go and subscribe to the channel, because your boy is going to come with more and more topics and discussions on stuff that you ain't hearing anywhere else. Anyway, it's been long enough. It's Donnie Chocolate here. Barbershop Professor. Peace.